Hello to my Geminis. Let's go. Geminis. All right. So the only planet right now that's retrograde is Pluto. And it's going to be retrograde until October the 11th. And so please, please, please protect your energy while Pluto is retrograde, because Pluto is the rebirth planet. And so think about you're giving birth to yourself, like, and you're going to this regenerative process over and over and over again to your relationships, right? So the first time we experience water is in a womb, right? So you said I'm going to be giving rebirth to, I'm reevaluating all the relationships I'm connected with in my life right now. My relationship with people, places, and things, right? And so I'm learning how to go back through, this is you going back through your past lives, before you were even born, because that's what it's going to feel like for a lot of people. Like, before you were born, what was injected into, just like what was injected into you to believe what you believe about just relationships in general, and are those relationships sacred, right? Because thinking about when you're giving birth to something, right? So it's very sacred, very sensitive time. So let's get into it. Let's go. All right. Wealth is within your reach. We're going to start out with some oracle cards. There's some energies that source is saying don't return their call. Here we have drink more water as a form of self-care. It's time to open your vault door. And whoever was, working on stealing your identity, it backfired. It didn't work, Remember, there's more than one star in the sky. And we'll bring those cards back out, again at the end. But there's more than one star shining in the sky. And there's definitely some energies that, when we talk about water, it's just very, very reflective energy. But we're trying to keep it as positive and balanced out as possible, right? So remember human frailty. So no matter how positive you remain, you're also going up against darkness, and so you got to be the person that says, even in your own human frailty, while life is lifing, Gemini, you got to say, okay, how do I balance it out? And so that's where I'm trying to shine a light on that. While you're operating in your purpose, you also have to know what your moon sign is in all parts of yourself. So your moon would be have an affinity with water. So when you feel drained and you're in spaces and like, okay, I just need something that's going to fill me up, that's going to put a smile on my face and make me happy or whatever, you're trying to make sure it's not toxicity that you're pouring into yourself, but fresh water. And that would be your moon sign. So let's get into it. The moon is currently in Capricorn. Let's go. I am talking to you wherever Gemini is in your birth chart, okay? Wherever Gemini is in your birth chart, let's go. Let's see what's in your cards. Let's see. First card out of the deck is a breakthrough. I love it. Okay, there we go. Ace of Swords. Here we have the High Priestess, the Sun card. Here we have the Empress card. Here we have the Justice card. And then we also have the Temperance card, right? Here we have the Ace of Swords. We also have the High Priestess, right? We also have the Sun card, right? We also have the Empress card. We also have the Justice card here. And then we also have the Temperance card, right? Right? So somebody is learning how to be a lot more fair-minded in just the way people think, right? Somebody could have a son, or you could be somebody's son. And it could have been some kind of a, you may have been doing some kind of injustice to yourself by not understanding, or like not gaining some kind of understanding of how people think, like you think. You all are incredibly smart. You're cerebral. And so somebody's like learning how to cut ties with just holding on to people thinking like you think, right? Remember, you all love to learn. You all are a sponge. You love to learn. Like, you all are that. And on top of that, you're ruled by Mercury, right? So you're not trying to think how other people think. Remember, you move from your heart chakra. And so people who move from their heart chakra, what's for you, the positive qualities of moving from your heart chakra is, love, trust, gratitude, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, healing, and equanimity, right? So your whole thought process could be so significantly different from the people around you. And said, as you're going through a rebirth, many rebirths during this, Pluto retrograde up until October the 11th, in case somebody wants to write that date down, you're starting to recognize, okay, in order to have healthier relationships with people, you're saying, okay, you can agree to disagree on certain things without coming across as disagreeable. And then, like I said, you're learning how other people communicate. They're learning how you communicate. And so you're not holding on to something that you're just, you can let go of. And it doesn't create, mass hysteria and just, paranoia in other people's lives. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Two of Swords. Here we have the Page of Pentacles. Here we have the Devil card and also the Chariot card. Yeah. The Seven of Pentacles. So I definitely feel like somebody's planting some new seeds. You're learning how to make more sustainable income because you're learning how to, pour more into yourself. So when you're talking about planting seeds to grow, it has to go through the water, first of all, fertile soil, right? So okay, like where you physically put your body, like that's your fertile soil. So as you're going through your whole cleansing your whole mind and the way you think, you're saying, okay, I need to put myself around other people who think, other energies, that the goal is to plant seeds to grow a harvest, right? And so here we have the Page of Swords right here. So whatever anxiety you may have been having about something, like like having on blindfolds and not being able to see the blessings with just in both sides of your, like in your personal and your professional life, and just being indecisive about things. Source is saying, take the blindfolds off. This is the time to write a self-assessment. Not for your job, but just for your metamorphosis and just how you're changing. That's the beautiful thing about when planets go retrograde too. Here's a Devil card. And then also cutting ties with just like demonizing, like somebody could have been married to somebody where they just said, they was a devil incarnate, like really demonizing, that type of energy. Here we have the Page of Pentacles, and or demonizing their whole thought process around the energy of money, or how they planted seeds, or where they live, and that kind of thing. Somebody's learning how to go through a rebirth of sorts with that, right? And just raise your frequency. I definitely feel like if there's a court situation here going on, I feel like there's a win. There's definitely a win. Somebody is learning how to, and if there's not a court situation, well, I feel like somebody has a guardian angel, watching over you, protecting you. But I definitely see balance here, right? So this is the mother of the zodiac, and this is the father of the zodiac, right? So I definitely feel like somebody has two guardian angels watching over them on the other side, helping to pour, just like giving you some fresh air. Like, so if you've been feeling like your thoughts are starting to change and information is being loaded into your spirit, and you feel more sensitive to the air, as an air sign, like it comes in through a smooth breeze, right? Like the information is coming in like a cool breeze. You may say, oh, okay, I'm getting some downloads, some information is coming in, and I need to be in a quiet place to receive, that information. So here we go. And so soulmate energy is coming across your path. Remember, water connects us to quality of relationships, right? So you're thinking more of sacred relationship, because it makes all the difference in the world, especially if you look back now knowing the difference between karmic ties and twin flame or soulmate energies. You may say to yourself, I now know what those relationships mean, and that's what I want to attract. I want to attract divine connections, right? In friendships, romantic relationships, jobs, those kind of things. And that's what somebody is starting to think. You want to make divine connections, and that's what I'm seeing for you all. Not karmic ones. Where and the Devil card coming out in the major arcana is Devil card is really about enslaved to some kind of obsession, like you're obsessively thinking about money, or obsessively thinking about people who have money, or how they made their money, or what seeds they planted, around the energy of money, or those kind of things, and or who they chose to love, and that's kind of things enslaved to some. And it's not even what other people think of you. People gonna think what they want to think. Sometimes you saying or thinking a certain thing is triggering their demons. So get delivered from that. You don't have to go with their belief system about who you should love, or how you make your money, and those kind of things. That can be left outside of your vault door. but I see you learning how to move on from the depth of disappointment from things. Like somebody's learning how to fly away from that. Like, okay, you know what? That's just, you can't control somebody else's thought, because that's what other people try to do. Here we have the Nine of Pentacles. Source is making sure you're financially independent so that you don't have to depend on someone else's mind control and about how you make your money. Okay. So that's going to be key here, is your independence about how you make your money. Like, so they're trying to, like here we have the King of Cups here. So I definitely feel like you're on your throne, and you are emotionally intelligent enough to say, hey, how they make their money is up to them. How you make your money is up to you, right? So again, like I said before, as you all are going back through your past lives, Gemini, and you're going back before your parents even came together, and just going back through even your childhood, like before you came to the womb, and starting going back through your Akashic records is what I'm speaking of. And when you came out of the womb, and just all the influences around you, and just saying, guys, somebody gonna start remembering all the conversations you heard, and just kind of sort of just the influences, around like how people think, not just about money, like how they take action, like, what kind of jobs they had, like what kind of organizations they joined, what kind of friendships they were connected to. That's what somebody's going to start thinking about, and just, recognizing that, wow, all those influences played a role in how you moved, right? How you took actions, right? So I definitely feel like some new seeds are planting, and it's harvest time. So new seeds are planted, and it says harvest time. Look at this right here. And your harvest is plentiful. Your harvest is plentiful. And the beautiful thing about this is, because you're a mutable sign, somebody has either already planted some new seeds. See how this person right here is like building a house. It's like you've already planted some new, like somebody saying, okay, I'm getting ready to rebuild. I'm rebuilding your house, your physical, like, are you rebuilding yourself from the inside out? Like, okay, you're rebuilding, yourself. And so that's what you're praying for. It's just like, okay, just rebuilding. And so I feel like, looking at your cards here, there are actually people who are praying for you. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune here. They're actually praying for you, that there's some kind of rebuilding going on, because a lot of people who have this idea, when we talk about your thinking, your thought process around people who have money, especially if you witness people use money for evil instead of people who use money for good, then that could be like stuck in your mind, or like, okay, oh, these people must use it, or like maybe how they treated you. Because remember, you move from your heart chakra, Gemini. You all move from like, okay, I'm looking for what we have in common. You're looking at commonalities. You're looking at, just like making connections with people, like constantly trying to make connections. And that's what air signs do. Like, I'm looking for this. And so your love language could be so different than somebody else's love language. It could be a major turnoff for you. Your love language could be just like, communicate with me, talk to me, and their love language could be like, buy me a bigger, or buy me the latest with such and such. That's the only love language I have, right? So somebody's learning how to not be indecisive about it, and just like learning how, okay, this is their love language, this is mine. I'm just going to start communicating about it, and having more of a balanced out relationship. So I feel like you're the one that's being more mature about things. And Source is saying to you, that's where you're actually being rewarded, recognizing what your demons are, because you can't control their way of thinking. People are going to be that they wired however they wired, right? And so, yeah, I definitely feel like somebody may be saying, if you have kids with somebody, they may have gotten that kind of wiring from the other side of the family, the pre-wiring that way from the other side of the family. So you could be moving from your heart chakra. They could be moving from their root. Like for them, they could be saying, I just want the material thing. Like, show me the money. You could be like, show me the commonality, show me the equanimity, show me the forgiveness, show me the love, show me the heart, right? So Source is saying to you, there is a healthy balance there. Like, once you balance yourself out and say, okay, what could you do? You could talk about it. You could talk about what your love language is, and at least give them an opportunity to show you that they love you by your love language, whatever you share with them. Just like you can show them by what they said their love language is. You can even see it like in little kids, Gemini. Some little kids, you give them a little birthday card, they'll turn the birthday card upside down. They just want to see the money fall on the floor. And as funny as that can be, like for little kids, they just like take the, let's just pretend like this is a birthday card right here. They open up the card like this. They open up the card like this. And they like this. With their cute little fingers, right? They just like shaking the card like this because they saw somebody else do it, right? They mimicking somebody else, right? So source is saying to you, you know, depending on, you know, who they spend time around, like the conversations that they heard, you know, growing up. Same thing with you. So everybody is going through a rebirth right now, and that's why it's such a sensitive time, and that's why you hear people saying, oh, people are getting exposed and stuff. So to balance it out so that you don't feel like, you know, you need to you need to be constantly just like positivity, like need to be just because that's draining for people to always have to keep up. Okay, I gotta be super positive, like I'm just tiptoeing through the poppy fields 24/7. That's unrealistic because we're all in human form, right? You want to balance it out by saying, okay, I know what my moon sign is. I can pour into myself so that, you know, I can be in receiving mode of balance, right? I know exactly what balance looks like, and that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing here. So I do see soulmate energy coming across somebody's path as a result of saying, okay, I need to release something. I need to release this idea around people are so money hungry, you know, that's all they understand. When I just want to hug, right? I just want to hear you say you love me, right? In agape love, whatever. And all they want to do is just get the material. So I definitely feel like, you know, you're saying, you know, sitting on your throne, carefully vetting your thought, rebuilding yourself, right? Here's the 10 of, because it is overwhelming. This is 10 of Wands. It is overwhelming. So I definitely feel like, you know, either somebody has already relocated or you are just kind of just your whole thought process, you know, you're relocating. So like I said, somebody could have had a court case that's over. It's over and done with. Somebody's actually being rewarded for that, whether it's you or somebody that you love. Somebody's actually, you know, source is actually rewarding you for moving on. And if you didn't, it's really just about this balance of just like being fair-minded, being diplomatic with around your idea. Like you don't have to overthink people's love language, really, because you like I said, air signs just move differently than the other zodiac signs because you all move from your higher chakra. So think about that with even your spouse. If you have a spouse or your friendships or your siblings or, you know, whoever, your colleagues, you know, you find out what their sun sign is, you're like, okay, or what their moon sign, which is just as important. Like what nurtures their spirit, right? What nurtures their spirit. Yeah, so like I said, what puts a smile on their face? Here we also have the Two of Swords, right? And it would really be more so the moon sign, you know, like what makes them feel good, because that's what moon is. It has the affinity with the water. So Source said, take the blindfolds off. It's two situations in particular that Source is saying. That's how you make yourself easy prey for people to play you. When you're just like, well, you don't love me. You know, if you really love me, you would do X, Y, and Z. And that's how it becomes a game of chess. Oh, okay. That's all they want from me is that, so then I can ask them for something if I just give them that. So somebody's learning about in your rebirth, if that makes sense to somebody. Like if you think back now, Gemini, you may say, you know what? You could be thinking about 10, 15 years ago, you sitting there looking like, you know, I just want a hug. I just want somebody to tell me that they love me. I just want you to say it, like, you know, and so that person is gone. You're no longer that person anymore. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing here for you. These cards jumped out. Yeah. Because it left somebody feeling very naked and uncovered, you know, in the past. And now moving forward in that nakedness and just feeling like you were just left by yourself. Now you're hopeful, you're blissful, you're more optimistic. And so that part of you close out the cycle and learn how to create very firm boundaries. And again, Source is actually rewarding you for this because you did the work. Like as much as you love to learn, you said you're going to start studying self. That's why I talk about birth charts so much. That's what you said. You said you're going to start studying self. Like, okay, because it left you vulnerable and uncovered, you know, in the past. And here's the Temperance card again. Like I said, you had 2 guardian angels, and now your wishes are being fulfilled. Here's the 9 of Cups. Now your wishes are being fulfilled because you understand their love language. They understand yours. Soulmate energy is coming into your life, and you're building at the root. So just like a seed would be planted from the very first conversation, and you're starting to establish relationships or whatever, you want to know how other people are covered. They want to know how you are covered, you know, because I feel like that's what happened in the past, what could have been overwhelming. You know, like people are praying for divine connections. You hear people in the world say, "Oh, no new friends," because they've been around so much toxicity. But I feel like a lot of people are going to gain a lot of new friendships, a lot of new relationships in their lives. But the difference is that one, you're asking your the energy you desire to attract. You're in your own divinity of balance, right? Divine masculine to divine feminine. So you're not cut in half. You're whole and complete, and so that's what you're attracting. So somebody had to learn from, just your family relationships, loved ones. So whoever you're closest to, it could be somebody's child, it could be your spouse. Somebody is just learning love languages, right? And just how to talk to people about what is your love language. I'm trying to understand you better. What would be, it's like almost asking a person, what do you want for your birthday? But just taking it deeper and just recognizing that, for some people, that's what their love language is. It's just, or somebody saying, let me pick a zodiac sign up here and see what would be like. Okay, so let's say somebody's moon sign is Sagittarius right here. Let's see somebody's moon sign. Sagittarius love to travel. Like, so, let's say somebody's moon sign is Sagittarius. Their love language may be like, hey, when we going to go on a trip? Like, when the next cruise? When are we going to the next this and that? They ready to just jet set. Like, when are we going on the next adventure, right? That could be their love language. Every time you turn around, they going somewhere. And every time you turn around, they going somewhere, right? They just coming off somewhere. Passports being stamped, traveling, going somewhere. Or let's say if somebody's moon sign is Cancer, they may need to recharge in their crab shell, so they may be a little bit more introverted when it comes to, if they feel like they're in spaces where they're overwhelmed, they may feel like, okay, they need to recharge and reconnect with that inner child within them because they're the mother of the zodiac, right? And so they said, okay, I need to mother myself. That's what they may say. They may say, okay, that's what nurtures my spirit. So when you're connecting with people and trying to find out what their moon sign is and like really what nurtures their spirit, that's going to help significantly from like, if you got people, if somebody, what's the card, somebody could be married right now or somebody could be thinking about getting married, that's what's going to make sure you're left uncovered. That's before you even put any emotion behind it whatsoever. Like, okay, or just like a little bit of emotion, like, okay, we talking love language. What's your love language? Like I said, I just named a couple of them. You can go look them up online if you want to and just, pull your birth chart. But there's some energies that definitely they failed at stealing your identity. And just basically, there's so many different ways that people can steal people's identity and just kind of sort of just mirror who you are. You're incredibly smart, but there's nobody who is like you. Nobody. There's nobody on the planet like you. And you're not like them, so you couldn't steal theirs. Even if y'all had the same name, same birthday, whatever, y'all can look alike, you still couldn't steal their identity. So it's just saying, it's very much like it's much deeper than somebody like whatever stealing identity means. Bottom line is looking at the cards here, it's like someone is rebuilding. Someone is rebuilding themselves. You are a new person. You're going through a rebirth, a new spiritual rebirth is what I'm seeing here, in your cards, where you learn how to, because you've been left so unprotected and vulnerable, you're teaching other people, first yourself, because you've learned how to protect yourself and just say, how sacred relationships are, to say things up front when you know what people's intentions are. Here's a tricky thing about somebody failing to steal your identity. This is what I'm saying in your cards, Gemini. Somebody came into your life and they didn't state what their intentions were with you. This is like the sneakiness of it, right? Of like, sometimes people will try to come into your life and they're trying to be your friend, or they have an agenda, whether they're working with other groups of people or whatever. But Source is saying with these 9 cups right here, this is 9 cups of water. Water is reflective. So you definitely had some mirroring spirits that were trying to mirror your identity, trying to steal your identity, like trying to steal your ideas, trying to be you. And so the beautiful thing about you all being mutable signs is like you all know how to switch courses. Like, how you're so incredibly smart. You know how to switch in the middle of it. It's like, oh, okay, let me switch up this. Let me switch up that, right? Let me grab a new book. Let me grab a new this. Let me tune into that. And on top of that, Source is saying, now that you're entering into sacred relationships with energies, people are going to start to pour into you. they're starting to pour into you. And so these are part of your soul community, relationships. And some of them are not, they're not going to go anywhere in terms of a romantic unless you want it to go that way. But people want to pour into you because they see your efforts. They see, they like the way you think. They like your mind. And they're like, okay, let me send them let me pour into Gemini. And that's what I'm seeing here, so that you can rebuild, kind of sort of from scratch. There's a lot of people who are very compassionate towards you, and they see that you're very smart, right? So they say, well, let me pour into them. Let me pour something into them. So from there, it's up to you. People can lead you to water, but they can't force you to drink it. So I definitely feel like somebody is now increasing your prayer life and meditation life and seeing yourself drinking the fresh water, having these sacred relationships, in your life, and not the toxic one. You're thanking Source for breaking toxic ties, as a matter of fact. So you're saying, Source, break all karmic ties in my life. Break karmic ties within me and around me, right? And so you're allowing Source to do it. Here's a Justice card, came out twice. So yeah, so like I said before, so you're not indecisive. You're very fair-minded. So what's on your internal scales? Like I said, something has ended, and let's see what else we have here. So yeah, you're not indecisive about, relationships at all. Here we have Knight of Pentacles. You're a very hard-working person. And that's what Source is saying. New money is coming across your path because you're investing in yourself, your skill set, and people are leading you to water. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. Yep, here we have the Ten of Pentacles, right? So see all of these mirrors here? There's a lot of people who are trying to mirror you. They're trying to, using forms of mirror magic. But this over. It's over. The cycle is closed. The spell has been broken. You don't even have to worry about all of that. So, so you and somebody. So it could be you and a spouse, you and your child, whoever it is, that some energies were mirroring. And so you're planting some new seeds. New divine relationships are now being developed. So that's what you can be excited about, Gemini, because people are going to wonder, who are they connecting with? Who is Gemini talking to? How are people, who is given, so because everything is lining up perfectly for you, right? So yeah, everything is like, people are wondering like because again, you're planting some new seeds. People won't know who you're connected with, where on planet Earth are you planting seed. They won't have a clue as to what's going on, not a clue. And you're going to keep all of those things close to the cup. Like I said, people, you're drinking more water, you're pouring more into yourselves, and a lot of things. So you're no longer doing an injustice to yourself by allowing other people to leave you uncovered and those kind of things. I feel like part of what people were thinking about you, Gemini, was that money could buy you. That's what I feel like. People doesn't look at your cards. People thought that was your love language. Oh, we could just buy Gemini. Right, but people keep forgetting that everybody likes nice things. Everybody likes nice things, but you all are a cerebral sign, and so what's more appealing to you is learning. Learning. You love learning, right? So they could have come at you a different way, but see, the intention was the intention was just off. It's like a person trying to come and sneak in through the back door, sneak in. They couldn't even come through the front door, knock on the front door and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, here are my intentions. What are your intentions? That's not, but again, Source exposed a lot of things, and you're liberated. That's right. You feel liberated. The doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe anymore that they're you, because it's not. There were some people that were very intimidated by your intellect, very intimidated. That would be putting it nicely. Very intimidated. So again, not your problem at all. So continue moving forward, and like I said, keep passing down, information through your ancestral line. Sources, like I said, making sure that you're financially independent. So, and just continuing to work hard to invest in yourself. That's what it really boils down to, is like, you're just investing in yourself. Hard-working person. And when you look in that mirror, you see, like when you look in the mirror, you know what you see, right? So that other people don't define, who you are when you look in the mirror. You see something. I feel like for the first time, somebody's going to start looking in the mirror and start seeing themselves in a different light from now on, right? So congratulations to you for that. Congratulations. There it is, self-worship. I couldn't have put out the best card, right? Number 37, which 3 and 7 obviously is 10. And that's the number for instant manifestation, right? So my hands fold as I speak to the stars, watching as the sky holds its breath. It's in stillness that I find all that I am and all of divinity within me. That's right, all of divinity within me. Yep. All of divinity within me. So yeah, people have been, I feel like somebody has been trying to tell you who you were. That would be like somebody saying, oh, you don't really love me, because it's just like trying to control your mind. Like for them, it's just all a game, right? You know, playing a game of chess. And so I feel like now you're learning how to kick things back and like, no, this is my love language, you know, and this is how I like to be loved, right? So you're coming off of their channel. You're coming off of that, their, you know, mind control. Like they think that they know you well enough that they can buy you kind of chance, so they can mirror you. So if I can change their mind, I can mirror them, and I can steal their gifts. That's what it is. So you're coming off of that. So 2 and 5 is 7. 7 is a 7 is a lightning bolt. It's a lightning bolt insight. And so instead of asking why are people doing this, like you don't even need to know why anymore. Some people are just, it's all about the material. That's it. That's all it is. If you, I kind of liken it to this, Gemini. If we're talking about like in just lay terms, it's, and I think I used this example one time before. It's like you put in all this blood, sweat, and tears in a project at work, right? And somebody comes in and just swoops it up, like steals the whole idea. You just like, wow, for real, like. And or like your manager says, hey, why don't you and so work on that project together? You had already stayed up late, put all the blood, sweat, and tears in it, sacrificed all kinds of sacrifices, and your manager comes in and says, hey, work on that project with so and so. And guess what? They take half the credit. And guess what? To add insult to injury, they get promoted, and you don't get anything. You just get told, oh, you need to do a little bit more extra the next time in order to get promoted, you know. So that happens a lot to a lot of people, you know. People just steal your ideas. They get promoted to the next level. And so Source is saying to you, you know, you're definitely learning about sacred relationships moving forward. So congratulations. So I definitely see victory for you. Congratulations. Yep, victory. 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 Let's see. Yeah, that's what we have. Let's see. We got all those cards out there. And here are the questions for you. For those of you all who like the questions, what are your top 3 priorities this week, this month, and this year? The second question is, what are your biggest fears? The third question is, do you have specific daily rituals and routines that nourish you? Fourth question is, do you reward yourself when you accomplish something? And then last but not least is, how much of your day or week do you block out for self-care and personal development? Right? So what do you need to release? That's it. That's it. So again, the release would be like, you know, people were trying to control your mind, but they were trying to control your mind to mirror what they saw in you that you didn't see in yourself first, right? So you're not going to do that to somebody else, right? So when you go back through your past life in this rebirth, and after rebirth and metamorphosis, that Pluto is giving everybody an opportunity. Well, Source is giving everybody the opportunity to do it through Pluto being retrograde right now. You're just hitting a reset button in all fairness, saying, you know what, you're not carrying that mind control, like you're trying to control how people make their money. You're not trying to control that in your kids or your mentees or your students or anything like that. You're just basically, you know, if they, you know, if you see, you know, you can share, you know, how, you know, or your siblings or whomever, but you're also alerting them to mirroring spirits and how people will try to steal their gifts and talents. Because it looks like somebody is highly gifted and talented, but how people will steal their gifts and talents and then make it their own and make the money and then drop them off like they're not worth anything, and just leave them just kind of sort of just emotionally drained and just, you know, emotionally dehydrated. So some people definitely fail to steal your identity, and as you're moving forward to a higher frequency, they won't be able to come to where they won't be able to come to whatever channel that you're on. Source has already blocked that out. So it's like I said, it's closed out. That's a closed channel, right? So they'll have to go somewhere else. They'll have no choice but to go somewhere else, to someone else's, to someone else's, that their frequency, to see, what else they can steal from other people. But that's what I have for you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully these questions have helped you. And so let me share with you all what I've been sharing with everybody else in terms of energy leaks and energy hacks, because that's also important too. Is like to know the difference between the two. So energy leaks are all situations, people, activities, foods, drinks, and so on that can ultimately leak your energy and diminish the cognitive clarity you need for pursuing your dreams, right? So here's some examples of energy leaks: loud noises, staying up past a certain time, overdosing on caffeinated drinks, too much screen time, staying indoors most of the day, midnight email sessions, like, oh, I got a project, I can't even sleep, I gotta send out all these emails at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. People looking at their emails like, who in the world is up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? What's going on in that household, right? So, or even multitasking, that's an energy leak. But energy hacks, that's poor discipline and determination into restructuring your schedule so that it includes downtime, rest, movement, and time outdoors, mindful nourishment, and anything else that your body, mind, and spirit might need in order to flourish. Some of that looks like solo time, 8 hours of sleep, give or take, matcha, swimming, reading, sunbathing, doing one thing at a time with full presence. So hopefully that's helpful. I'll see you all in the next reading. Bye.